Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. So we're going to be making these checkers. I don't know if I should call this a checkers outfit. It's a two-piece. I don't know, but the things we used to ignore, we see as trash, is now what's in vogue. So I saw this on a site, and it was about, I forgot to get the name of that site. I would have pasted it here. It was about a 300 and something dollars. So and I decided to make it. I got the fabric and said I was going to carry you guys along. So if you are interested, sit on and watch. All right. So to my return subscribers, I love you all. If you just see me for the first time, welcome to the channel. All right, you won't regret it. Subscribe and turn on your notification bell so you get notified whenever I post beautiful tutorials like this. So first of all, we marked a starting line, and from my starting line, I'm going to take my bust point, my under bust. I'll take my bust point, my under bust, the waistline, and the length of the top. So the length of, there will be no hip. Okay, actually the length of the top is my hip line, right, which is 29. I added 1 inch, making it 30 for folding allowance. So you mark out 2 inches for your button allowance. This is a shirt, right? So you mark out 2 inch for your button allowance. So the next thing we're going to do now is to mark the lines. All right, mark the lines and connect. Label your lines: bust point, under bust, full length. Okay, so the next thing we'll do is, basically the way you measure your shirt when you want to make your button down shirt. My shoulder divided by 2, my neck width 3, my neck depth 3 for the front, and I'll come down by 1 inch from my shoulder line. Come down by 1 inch for my shoulder slope. From that shoulder slope, I'll get my armhole. I'll connect the line first, make my neckline curve. Then I'm going to get my back neckline, which is 1.5. I'll be using this to cut for both the back and the front, right? I don't want to waste my pattern. Okay, so after that, from that 1 inch shoulder slope I got, I'm going to come down by my arm. The shoulder slope, I'll come out by 5 inches again. All right, because the shoulder is not really sitting on the shoulder, it's dropped before adding your sleeve. So I'm going to connect that. I won't be getting any armhole here. I'll be using my bust point as the armhole, so I'll connect it to the bust point just this way. All right, so the next thing I'll do now is to impute my body measurement. My bust divided by 4, and I added extra 5 inches. Please, I made a mistake. After sewing this, the top was really tight on me, so if you are on the bigger side, I added 5 inches to mine. Please make sure you add 10 inches to yours. Okay, add 10 inches to yours. I'm going to give this shirt to my daughter. Yeah, she's big, right? So everything was perfect, just the shirt was very tight on me. I couldn't close the button, so I'll come up by 3 inches and I'll make my armhole curve. Do you understand? After getting your bust point divided by 4, you are going to add extra 10 inches. That's if you're on the big side, but if you're on the small side, that's 5 inches I added, it's okay. All right, so that same thing you got on your bust point, you're going to insert it on your full length. And as you can see, my armhole curve did not really end at the bust point. It came down a little, like 1 inch below the bust point. All right, now that part which I marked is where my my shred is going to start. Then I'll come up by 7 inches as well for where my shred is going to stop, and I will indicate the line so that when cutting on my fabric, I'm going to notch that area. I don't know if you guys understand. The armhole that I curved, if you watch, it's not really on the bust point. It came down 1 inches below the bust point. Then make sure you come up by 7 inches upward from your full length for where your shred is going to stop. Then on your under bust, that is where your shred is going to start from. Okay, so I hope you guys understand. So I'll go ahead and cut out the back neckline first. I'll leave the front neckline. I'll cut the back neckline first. I'll use it to cut for the I'll fold the button allowance inside when cutting on my fabric for the back. Then after cutting for the back on my fabric, I am going to open up the button allowance and cut out the neckline for the front. Then I'll cut on my fabric. Hope you guys understand. So I'm going to set this aside and I'll be cutting for the pants. But before then, the shorts, before then, I'm going to get my pattern and a fresh pattern paper, place the armhole this way, and I'm going to get a curve. Watch and see where I'm getting. This is for my sleeve. All right, this is for my sleeve. Do you understand? This is for my sleeves. All right, so now from there I'm going to get the length I want my sleeve to be. So depending on the length you want yours to be, I think mine was a little longer. I would have made it 10, but I made it 15. Okay, so if you want to cut yours, make it 10. All right, 10 inches. So this is where my sleeve is going to stop. I'll go ahead, roll it like this, and I'll be using this pattern to cut for my sleeve. And my fabric is going to be on fold, and it's going to be 2 pieces, one for the left, one for the right hand side. Okay, so I'll go ahead and I'll cut this out. Guys, please, if you're understanding what I'm saying, give this video a thumbs up. This is a very easy tutorial. It's even self-explanatory. All right, and I think beginners can even do it. Okay, so can you see how my sleeve is going to look like? Now this is how my sleeve is going to look like. All right, so I'll set this aside and I'll be cutting for the short. So for the short, I'll get pattern paper. I've already marked I marked 10 inches. I marked 10 inches. All right, that line you're seeing is 10 inches. Then I'm going to start taking my measurements after the 10 inches. Now the 10 inches is for you to have enough allowance for your shirred. All right, the bigger you are, the more you're going to add. Okay, so I go from my starting line. So from your starting line, from my starting line, I got my crouch depth. Right, that's my crouch. So our measurement is going to be starting after that 10 inches I got. So now I'm going to take my hip measurements. My hip divided by 4 is 13.5. So I'm going to mark that down. Okay, and I'll mark a straight line. So you know this hip line is supposed to be on my hip line, right? But because of the kind of shorts we are making, my hip line, I placed it on my crouch line. Then I'm going to extend again by 3 inches or 3.5 inches depending on how big you are. Okay, so you have enough allowance for your shirt. Do you understand? So that is it. So I'll get the length of my shirt. Okay, I'll get the length of my shirt, which is the pattern paper. So I'll go ahead and cut. Like I said before, this hip measurement is supposed to be on my hip line, but I did not take hip line for this on this pattern. That is why I took my hip measurement on the crouch line and added extra 3 inches on the crouch line and made my curve. Now I'm going to cut for the back. I'll get another pattern paper and I'll be cutting for the back. Sorry, my pattern paper is like dancing around because I've been folding my pattern paper. Okay, so I'm going to turn this to the other side because the other way wasn't enough. So I'll place it and I'll go ahead. The length of my short is 20. I added 2 inches, 1 inch for band, that's for elastic on the waistline, 1 inch on the hem length to hem the full length of my shirt. Okay, so whatever the length of your shirt is, add extra 2 inches to it. So I'll come out by 2 inches for the back on the crouch line and I will mark. Can you see how I did that? Then I'm going to trace out this just this way. I'll trace it out this way. I've traced it out. Then I'll mark a curve like from there to meet there. Are you seeing what I'm doing on the screen? And I'll go ahead and cut this out. All right, I'll cut this out and this is what we have. Okay, so I'll cut for on the fabric. I've gone ahead to cut on the fabric and here I have my sleeve. I've notched the middle part, my 2 sleeve. Then this is my so this is my shirt. Make sure you notch, you know, that part we marked for our shirt, where our shirt is going to start and where it's going to stop. Make sure you notch that part so you don't forget. Okay, and for your front shirt, you first of all hem your button allowance before shredding. Do you understand? So this is the back. Can you see where I notched? Now this is the front. You hem your button allowance before you shred. note where your shred will start from and where it's going to stop. Do you understand? So this is my short. I'm going to join the crouch line. After joining the crouch line, I'll open it. It's going to be like this. I'll fold 1 inch for the elastic. I'll hem the down part, then I'll start shredding. All right, so I'll just go and shred everything, then I'll come back and show you what next to do. All right, so guys, this is me shredding my shirt. This is my shirt. If you look closely, you're going to see I hemmed the button allowance. Okay, so shred. Then there is one hack I want to teach you guys. When you're doing a shredded top, a shredded dress, or anything shred, just apply little water on your fabric. Trust me, you're going to come back and thank me later. All right, just apply little water, sprinkle little water on it. Okay, so I'm done shredding. This is the short. I know it's looking very small, like it's looking very small, but after joining everything, it's going to be the only thing that is tight on me here is the shirts. Okay, that was why I said I will join the two sides of the shorts, close my crouch line, add my elastic. Okay, and this is the shirt. So remember I said, I added 5 inches for allowance for my shirt. If you're big, add 10 inches. Okay, so I'll join shoulder to shoulder. For the shirt, yes, I'll join it shoulder to shoulder, just this way. Okay, after joining shoulder to shoulder, I'll add my sleeve and I'll close the sides. Okay, and I'll hem the full length. I'll add my sleeve, I'll close the sides where 90% are closed, it's coming out, and it's 90% ready. So I'll close the sides and come back and show you how it's looking. So this is it, guys. This is my shirt. The next thing you're going to do is you measure the round neckline, you add your collar. All right, if you don't know how to add a collar, I'll leave a link on how to add your collar, or I'll make a separate video for that. So we have come to the end of this tutorial. So like I said before, I will rather make a separate detailed video on how to add your collar. All right, though I have a video on how to add collar, like a shirt video that I added collar. I'll leave the link down the description box as well, and I'll tag it on the comment. I'll link it in the comment section. If you've learned 1 or 2 out of this video, out of this tutorial, please give it a thumbs up, share my video, and leave a nice comment. And if you're yet to subscribe to my channel, I beg you in the name of God, quickly hit on the subscribe button and do not forget to turn on your notification bell. Bye.